Yeah, like that's any kind of news flash right there. As a borderline volatile personality myself, I find that being around other like individuals is not helpful in my efforts to level out my reactions. I find it difficult to genuinely like many of the people with which I have to interact in the local slam community. This inability of mine, and this is again a personal flaw, this inability of mine to suffer, perceived fools, coupled with the competitive nature of the game, only exacerbates my behavioral problems. I have said that I am unable to treat slam appropriately. Further to this, I have of late been treating it as an arena for catharsis. Slam may be many things to many people, but it should never serve as a replacement for the therapist's couch. Recent events in my life having to do with family, faith, trust, and honor, and the betrayal of those things and values have put me in a tailspin. And I have transferred these issues over to the slam and the poetic family in Victoria. This transference has been largely unconscious, and I have only recently begun to see the true extent of it. Again, there are some examples. When I learned some detail of a performer's personal life, and then mapped that knowledge onto certain of their performances, of their poems, I transferred and instantly began labeling them in my mind as a hypocrite, and began to feel an animosity towards them that would be better directed elsewhere. When I learned that another performer had taken money to create an issues poem for an advocacy organization, I transferred, immediately deeming that performer a preening self-promoter and a sellout. Now, although I personally couldn't do what they did, I have done my share of self-promotion. We all have to. It still causes me discomfort to do it, but that's beside the point. And I can certainly be accused of hypocrisy. Further, judging how another artist chooses to utilize their art is, it's not for me to do. That's just wrong. Especially since I know nothing of their motivations or their situation. Again, this is, the reality of things versus my own flawed perception, and, reality wins. I've been in the wrong to do those things. But where this transference has occurred, where it's surfaced in my interactions with other performers, it has caused, of course, it's caused pain, it's caused upset, and considering the suddenness with which these eruptions of malice and ill feeling occur, probably some agitation and confusion as well. And for this I apologize. Another aspect of slam that causes me some distress is the disconnect between my beliefs regarding art and the mostly mercenary necessities that must be embraced to succeed in slam. Now, I hold to a belief, this is a core belief, that the best writing, the best performance, the best art comes from a place where the ego of the writer slash performer slash artist is at least subsumed, and at most removed completely from the creative process. This belief, it's a slippery one, and it's difficult to hold on to, but I hold on to it nonetheless. There are some spoken word performers who manage this, and these are the ones I enjoy the most. Robbie Q. Telfer's Clowns and Awkward Scars, highly personal, and yet, not. He manages to. I don't I don't hear him in those poems. I hear the poem, which is beautiful. R.C. Weslowski at his surreal and transpersonal best. Most of Buddy Wakefield's output. Missy Peters has an apocalypse poem that's just amazing in that respect. You know, among others. But with these, the creator seems to disappear, and all you are left with is the creation. And you know, there's a slight breeze from the void beyond coming through, which I never fail to find refreshing in like a totally Gnostic way. If I've attained to anything like this in my own work, it's only been through, you know, sheer bombast, the brag of the land daughter, or you know, tangled word spew, choppy and chaotic, like Katimovic Girl. Pieces in which, you know, my mind, at least, if not the listeners, goes white and empty. Usually about 3/4 of the way through, I have a little satori with those. That's my goal with all my art, is that I provide that moment of emptiness, that moment of whiteness. Now, I don't consider these my best poems, right? I haven't written my best work yet. And when I do, it's my sincere hope that, you know, I won't be involved when it happens. Yet constantly in the world of slam, I encounter individuals so chock full of themselves that everything they've got to put up behind the mic is their best stuff. Everything. And you'd better not forget it. Individuals who barely get, you know, 5,000 words on paper in the space of a whole year, and they repeat most of that, and you know, they're rewarded for this on a regular basis. I mean, it's a terrible metaphor, but we're really looking at large fish in a perceptually huge, but in actuality small pond. Which is to say, for me, that as a forum for self-expression and the bolstering of self-confidence, slam's ideal. It's great for the youth. It's great for those who require that. But as a growth medium, you know, at least for me, slam has become, maybe always was, creatively limiting, and so walled all around. I mean, the graffiti on the walls is awesome. I'll give it that, absolutely. But I've concluded that, you know, quite aside from the, you know, horrendous emotional triggers that I have with slam, it's basically at cross purposes to where I'd like to go with my own art and writing. And so for this reason as well, it's best that I distance myself from it. Quite aside from the damage that I've done with it, the hell of all my crap behavior is that I really enjoy the pure performance aspect of spoken word. You know, the give and the take with the audience. You know, the positive charge of a receptive, excited room. You know, the descent of gratitude and humility that comes upon me when a show goes well. You know, I've even progressed to the point, and this is huge for me, I've progressed to the point where I can accept a compliment on my performance and not counter it with some, you know, perceived negative. Performing produces in me something like a state of grace, and I place a fairly high value on that for myself. I can't, I won't, and you know, indeed I mustn't compete as a spoken word artist for, you know, all of the reasons I've already stated. But really, I would like to continue performing. I would hate for that to go out of my life, but I also realize that that may have to happen for people to feel good about me again as someone they can trust, as someone they can have to perform for them. I realize that might have to happen. So that's about all there is. I would like to thank those individuals who have supported and encouraged my development in spoken word over these last few years here in Victoria and elsewhere, and I'm sorry to have disappointed you and failed your trust in me. And for those that I have actively hurt and insulted, please know I regret it. I regret it, and I apologize. I was an asshole, total prick. Agreed. You did not deserve any of what you received from me, and I was wrong to act as I did. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and it's December 18th right now, today, and have a happy Christmas, good holidays, and thank you again.